Hello and welcome as we are back with the Dragon Racing League underway on round 4 in Zandvoort, Hungary, as we make our way through outlaps for a lot of guys here, and we are getting started. Back with me today, we do have Free Willy, as he has made it back to the booth with me. How's it going today for you, bud?
It's going great. Was able to take a nice little weekend vacay, and so now we're back at it, and I'm happy to be in the box here with you today.
Perfect, perfect. I think this is gonna be a fun race. As far as I can remember, I believe our weather expectations are sunny, sunny, sunny for qualifying, and then a little cloudy and overcast, but still sunny for the actual race itself. So I think this will be a pretty good one. Obviously, this track's fairly demanding, but it's still a pretty fun track.
Most definitely tight track. So we'll definitely see if there's going to be a couple safety cars today. We'll definitely see there's going to be some tight racing, but I think with these the grid that we have today, it's going to be some very nice battling indeed.
For sure, and while the first groups are starting to get their first lap sort of underway here, we'll touch quickly on our standings here. So as after 3 rounds, we do have Andy in first. I'll bring that up. There we go. So we have Andy in first, Cam Tizzle in second, Knick-Knack Paddywhack in third, Electric Blade in fourth, followed by Jacko in fifth, Ketchin or AWFK in sixth, Gasboy in seventh, Lucifer in eighth, Racer X in ninth, Wolfsburg Tuner has moved up into 10th, the Johnny Damon in 11th, Strozzi in 12th, Beamer Blunt in 13th, Osmanian Devil in 14th, Slayerized in 15th, King C-Dot in 16th, Code Go Hard in 17th, OnlyFans Free in 18th, Lucky Charms in 19th, and Bolanger in 20th. And then moving over to our driver standing or team standings, constructor standings, I guess. We've got Aston Martin in first, Williams in second, Red Bull in third, McLaren moving up to fourth, Ferrari in fifth, Alpine in sixth, Alfa Romeo seventh, Haas in eighth, Mercedes in ninth, and Alpha Tauri in 10th. So pretty tight though so far. We've had a few pretty entertaining races with some guys getting. I think Jacko he got the win last week actually in Bahrain, managed to squeak it out with a late safety car that kind of unfortunately put Andy in a little bit of a hard spot, but he was able to. Jacko was able to kind of hold him off and get the win there, as it looks like Wolfsburg Tuner has a collision with Jacko, which has led to Jacko being out of the session. That's not great. That'll hurt your quali and your start for your race.
Most definitely right over there in the second sector. Wonder what happened over there. What would you say there,
I was
Sport?
trying to see. It looks like, yeah, they just had an issue off on the side there. It looks like, yeah, it looks like Wolfsburg is able to continue, but Jacko unfortunately not able to continue. So Jacko will have himself a last to first attempt here, I guess. A couple safety cars should help that out.
Most definitely, it's not all lost for Elma Jacko. Especially on, like I was saying, how tight this track is going to be. He'll be able to make up some nice positions. Hopefully, maybe even start on the soft compound to regain those positions and have a salvaged rest of his race.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully, but we'll have to see how it all shakes out. Obviously, these races can go very quickly in a multitude of directions. So, I'm sure he's got lots of ability to get himself back towards the front of the grid there. And I know a few guys are hoping for a couple of better races. Some guys had an unfortunate one. I know Beamer Blunt, he was a little frustrated after his race weekend last week. He kind of got bumped around a few times, and unfortunately ended up DNFing right near the end there. But it does look like Andy will be racing with us. He is going to make it.
There were reports coming in that he was feeling a little under the weather, but we're glad to see him out on the grid. He always puts up a strong showing against these other drivers out there on the grid, usually ends up in a podium position. So we'll see how he does today, even though he's feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we did have a couple of others that we were expecting to not be here today, I believe. I'm just trying to track that down. Osmanian Devil and Slayerized are both not supposed to be here. So we have a couple of fill-ins. So you can see MJ Braz down at the bottom in 19th. He's on his first outlap. So we can actually hop on board in the Alfa Romeo. So he'll be teaming with Wolfsburg. Today he's going to be one of our reserve drivers, and then our other reserve driver all the way up here in the Alpine. He is currently in the pits, but as he literally just came out, good timing on that one. In P. Gonzalez, he will be filling in the Alpine there for Osmanian Devil. But everybody else, for the most part, should have the regular teams. Yeah. Oh, sorry. They are asking me to post things somewheres. There we go. All right. Yeah, so as you can see, Cam Tizzle has himself a very, very high lap already. 1:11.1. He is 0.8 of a second faster than P2 right now. Pretty quick.
Most definitely, yeah. Especially if those Williams cars can get the lockout on the front portion of the grid, that would be great for their chances going into this race.
Yeah, Williams has been they've been doing pretty well. They've been working pretty well together. I know last in Miami we had chatted with them about how they were going to try and work together to sort of keep Andy behind them as long as they could. And unfortunately for them, Andy was able to make his way through. But they've been working really well together, and they're holding. I believe they're in P2 as a team. Yeah, they're up in P2 as a team, and then even in regards to like the, I guess, drivers individually, like they're in 2 and 4. So like they're doing pretty good. Having a very real Williams season.
It's definitely tight across the whole grid too, especially in the constructor standings. You know, we're looking at Red Bull, McLaren, and Ferrari all within around four or so points. You know, and I'm sure, Sport, you've seen some good racing these past couple of races in back at Bahrain. Were the Red Bulls, McLarens, Ferrari putting in some good battles? Yeah,
they were. Ferrari, it was a very interesting day for Ferrari. I know Hayden had kind of a rough start. He had a very weird race, but he did end up making it and getting himself back up near the front and having kind of inserting himself a little bit more. And same with Racer X had a little bit of an interesting day as well. So there was a few things that kind of just didn't go their way. But they did manage to kind of get it, a good points response out of it. And then, I mean, Red Bull, Nick Nack had himself a pretty good race. King C-Dot had kind of a rough one. I think he ended up actually DNFing pretty late in the race as well. It was the ending kind of took a couple of guys right near the end. It was rather unfortunately. But yeah, like a lot of these guys have been having pretty solid races the last few. Especially near the top of that grid there. And we did almost have our first Haas points as the Greasy Goose had himself a fantastic race until he actually, I believe, ended up DNFing as well, but he was right near the end, and he was in P6. He was doing well. I was actually kind of shocked, and then, yeah, unfortunately just got himself taken out fairly late on there, but
that's unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, as we see, Hayden has set himself a pretty fast time as well, getting into that 1:11.274, as we are following him around as he is going for us. Oh no, he's going to hop into the pits now here as well, so we will go away off of him. Cam Tizzle is going to be starting his fastest one. Yes, sorry.
Sport, what was Greasy Goose's fan club's name again? I remember.
Goosey Gang.
Goosey Gang.
Goosey Gang, yeah. They're all floating around, I'm sure. We'll hear from at least a couple of them in the next little bit here. But yeah, no, the Goosey Gang.
Canada Goose.
Exactly. Oh, man, those things are terrifying. And those Cobra Pigeons, yeah, they're sketchy.
Oh, goodness gracious.
As Andy has set himself a time, 1:10.999.
Jeez, breaking into the 110s, huh? We'll see if any of those top drivers can get up there and bring it down into the 110s as well. But it seems like the 111 is the going ticket at this point. So
Yeah, it'll be. Oh no! Unfortunate. Cam Tizzle gets himself a little loose. He had a purple sector 1, and then he just clipped a curb, coming out of, I believe that is turn 8 there. Yeah, turn 8 going into turn 9. Just caught a curb and ended up sending himself around, going for a spin. So he was on a flyer of a first of a lap there, but yeah, just unfortunately caught himself on the curb there and didn't quite make
yeah,
it.
that turn 8, also called Master's Turn or Mastersbocht in Dutch. However, we're not going to be speaking any Dutch because we don't speak Dutch.
No.
But but that inside corner of turn 8 is just devastating if you get your wheels too far up on the sausage curb, and it could just send your car flying into the barrier. So that is definitely a tough one. But I know the drivers are trying to get the most of the track and get the fastest lap that they can get out there.
Yeah, and this, I mean, oh, and Lucky Charms looks like he has retired from the session. He did put in a 1:12.748, so he will at least have himself a representative time. So he, unfortunately for Jacko, will still stay ahead of Jacko, as we are on board with Racer X as he is on his flying lap here. He did just set a purple sector 2, so he's having a pretty good one. Not sure if he's dragging the other Ferrari along behind him, but I think Hayden's on an outlap right now, as he's going to make his way through turn 14 on his way down the banking to the finish line here, as he gets himself a 1:11.435 and gets himself into P4 right behind his Ferrari teammate there. Let's see if he now Hayden uses him for a little bit of a tow.
Yeah, definitely some team play going on here from the Ferrari paddock, that's for sure, or the Ferrari pit.
For sure, yeah. No, I mean, hey, if you can use it, why not, right? So might as well use what you can get to gain that little extra bit.
Most definitely.
As in chat, yes, the goose is loose. Hashtag Goosey Gang.
You gotta love the Goosey Gang.
Gotta
Shout
love
out
it.
to the Goosey Gang.
Oh, it's fantastic.
You gotta love some of these names that they got going here. You know, Knick Knack, Paddywhack.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Beamer
No.
Blunt.
Beamer.
You gotta love it.
Yeah, I'm sure some creativity amongst the group here, as I think. Oh yeah. So okay. So Electric Blade is going to be on his outlap as well. I think he's running a second outlap now, because he still has 100% battery. So either he forgot to turn his battery on, or he's going to do a second outlap to get those tires a little warmer. As Hayden sets himself in another time and gets him into P2, a 1:11.078. Pretty tight group through there. We've got, in reality, about, what, the top 10 all within about a second.
Honestly, though, this first lap is going to be absolute mayhem going into turn 1.
Yeah, turn 1, that massive kind of hairpin is not very friendly.
No, especially if you go wide and try to take it on the outside. There's that an additional sausage curb that will also just this track is so difficult with the curbs. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not a fun one, as it looks like he is still not got his battery draining. So I'm not maybe he's just doing some casual laps, I guess.
It's a power move.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
I can do it without my ERS.
You see that method coming from Hayden quite a bit. He likes to do the intermediate or hard tire or something like that. See where he stacks up, and then he'll probably go for the softs, just depending on how cheeky he's feeling for the day. That's for sure.
For sure, yeah. As it looks like, speaking of Hayden, he has decided his time is as good as it's gonna get. So he's retired from the session. So with a 1:11.078, so he should be around near that front group. I don't see him ending up too far away. As we're on with the Johnny Damon trying to get himself up into that front group, as he is currently in P4, but he is on his flying lap here. And making his way to this really fun chicane. 11-12 is it's a sketchy chicane, but it's a lot of fun.
It's one of those ones where if you get it right, it's just so satisfying going into the next couple of turns. That's for sure.
But if you get it wrong, it is a nightmare.
Exactly. You know, you've seen quite a few of those F1 drivers, real F1 drivers, IRL, taking the exit into that gravel pit on the left there.
Yeah, for sure. As the Johnny Damon does get himself up onto the front row with a 1:11.048, so he's about 3/100ths of a second faster than Hayden there. So a nice flying lap out of him. That was I'd take that lap if I'm him. That's for sure. Electric Blade is burning some ERS now, so it looks like he's actually on a true flying lap now. Must have been just waiting to open some space.
He was done with the power move, that's for sure.
Exactly, and he does set a purple sector too, so this could be a pretty good race or lap here for him. As he's making his way into turn 13, passing that DRS detection zone, kind of in between 13 and 14 there, as he gets that rear wing open as he flies his way down the finish line, and he moves to P5. Interesting, so he must have had a little bit of a slower sector 3 there. Because, yeah, with that purple sector 2, would have thought he would be a little higher up, but he is getting himself into P6, as Beamer Blunt is going to be working his way through P7, as Aston Martin Andy sets another fastest lap there with a 1:10.930, so a little faster on his own time there, and unfortunately for Beamer Blunt, he does get himself into the grass, and he will not get a representative time off of that lap, as we'll hop down with Ketchin and see how he's making his way around. You can see it just went past Beamer Blunt there, as he is now set a purple sector 2.
See where he's going to end up.
Coming into turn 13, into turn 14 at that banking. The banking corner makes it a lot more interesting going around this track here, as he will not improve his positioning, so he will stay in P7. And it looks like everybody is now across the line, and this will be our grouping, as guys are now just going to go through, finish up, head back to the pits here.
Jeez, it's definitely tight up there at the front. You got Johnny Damon with a 11 and 48/100ths of a second, and then you got Hayden at 11 and 78/100ths.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tight race, that's for sure.
I'm definitely excited. This is gonna be a good one.
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Most definitely. I'm anticipating some, definitely some people getting their elbows out going forward, and we'll see if we'll get a couple safety cars. I know there hasn't been too many stewards inquiries the last couple of races, so we'll definitely see how this one turns out.
For sure. So really quickly, we'll go through the grid here. So Andy, and then the Johnny Damon on the front row, and then we've got Hayden, Cam Tizzle, Racer X, Electric Blade, Ketchin, Beamer Blunt, Greasy Goose, MJ Braz, Knick Knack Paddywhack, Gas Boy, King C Dot, P Gonzalez, Coda Go Hard, Bowlinger, Lucky Charms, OnlyFans Free, Wolfsburg Tuner, and the unfortunate with no time there, LL Majako. Wolfsburg Tuner will have a 5-second time penalty as well for his collision that he had with Jacko there. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. There are, well, looks like Stratzy had a unfortunate game crash, so we're just going to get him back connected to, and everybody is don't press start, so it looks like
it's always terrifying when you're going through your race strategy and picking out tires and fuel load and everything like that, and all of a sudden you get a timer just
Yeah.
counting down, and it's just like, ooh, okay, make sure we got everything going.
Yeah. That's right. It was not a 5-second time penalty. It's a 5 place grids penalty for Wolfsburg. So it looks like he will actually be 20th, and that will give Jacko a spot up. So he will be 19, and he kind of joked that he's going to now have those extra saved tires that could help him in the race. So hopefully that all works out for him. Those extra softs.
It's never safe out there.
No, it's yeah. So, but we'll see how it all ends up going. I think they're just trying to get Strozzi connected here. So while we sort of wait, I will bring up real quick here. So we will take a look. So we are on round 4 in the Netherlands right now, and we will be heading for next week. We will be heading to Hungary. And now Hungary has a special place in my hate, as I got my first ever disqualification on that track, because I got beached on a curb and couldn't get.
Never happened. Never happened in F1 games before.
It was so infuriating because there was nowhere for me to go and nothing I could do. I was like,
Jeez.
oh man, are you kidding me?
I don't think I've ever heard that term, special place in my hate. That
A special place in my hate.
Can I start using that? That is just incredible.
For sure.
It's
a great.
I feel like that's just
one of my favorites. Yeah, no. So we will be doing the Hungary next, and then we'll head to Monza, Singapore, and then France, Silverstone in the UK, Imola after that, Canada, and then Jeddah. Should be a lot of fun. I'm curious how these guys do in Jeddah. We got a lot of fast drivers, so it could be real interesting very quickly.
Yeah. And you know, especially with the update that they had on F1 2022, all the curves, they used to be all flush with the track, but now they just added a bunch of curves where that first sector can just be devastating if you hit the curb and get the the rear tire spinning or something like that. It's they just made it so much more difficult, and I think that's how it is in real life as well. But still, yeah, it's a tough one, but it's fast. You are definitely right on that regard.
Yeah, they consider it the fastest streets circuit, I believe it's considered, and it's pretty quick. It's a good track for sure. As we are underway. See Cam Tizzle introduce himself to the wall. Thankfully, it is the formation lap, so no damage will be incurred during the formation, as we have a very shocking and brand new to us sight of Andy being on pole. That doesn't happen very frequently, I'm sure. But
Never.
Not a chance. No. But we'll take a quick look here so you can see the combination of tires that everyone's on. So we have our front 2 on mediums, the next 2 on hards, then mediums, then hards, and then I wonder if they got together and decided, hey, we're gonna just alternate. And then Jacko with his abundance of extra softs. He's got his softs on there, hoping to kind of make his way up the field and gain positions quite quickly.
Definitely a second last to first challenge for Elma Jacko.
Yeah, and
He's
so
a quick driver.
He is pretty quick, and he managed to get the W last week, and it was kind of an interesting thing because we had a fairly late pit stop, or a fairly late safety car to the first stint for everybody. So Andy was on old hards, and he needed to pit, but he got really sort of lucky at the timing and was able to come in for a free pit stop and hold first place, taking it from Jacko. But then at the end of the race, there was that other pit safety car that kind of put Andy into a spot where he no longer had DRS behind Jacko, who had stayed out on older tires and was able to hold them off. So safety car giveth, safety car taketh away.
Yeah. Can be a blessing or a curse, that's for sure. Definitely with just depending on what strategy you're running. And I think
Yeah.
Elma Jacko would actually like an early safety car with the soft compound. So he can just gain a couple of places, then everyone goes into pits, but we'll see how it goes.
For sure. We had a few disqualifications, but all that means is they get sent in with no tire warmth as the lights start up here. And they're out. That was a longer pause than I expected to come from them, but they're on their way there as Andy gets himself a great jump. He is going to get himself up into the front. Coming out of turn 1, it looks like a little bit of an incident near the back there with the Haas and the Alpha Tauri, as the Alpha Tauri has now got himself into the pit lane. The Haas is going to continue. Both are going to keep out of trouble and just going to continue on their way there. As we follow with Andy, as he has now got himself, as Greasy Goose has retired. Not sure what happened there, as he lost a front wheel. Coming out of turn, I believe this is turn 3, or going into turn 4 there. As Knick Knack Paddywhack gets himself a 5-second time penalty, we are going to have no safety car, so it looks like just a VSC. There it is, yeah, VSC. As unfortunately, we have lost the Greasy Goose. Sorry, I was heading into turn 3 there. So an unfortunate situation for the Goosey gang, but not sure if that actually helps Jacko at all or not. I think this kind of hinders him because he can't really catch up or anything right now, as he has to now stay a little further back and watch for that Delta.
Yeah, definitely a pretty clean takeaway from the top portion of the grid. However, it looked like towards the back of the grid, there was definitely some kerfluffle going on back there. And yeah, it definitely looked like the Haas, it looked like they might have caught a little bit of that inside curb and struck the inside barrier. But pretty clean, all things considered, though. That's for sure.
It looks like we've got Beamer Blunt and Knick Knack Paddywhack in the pits. And Knick Knack has served a time penalty as well. He's going to be getting himself a new front wing, as we also see a new front wing going on to Beamer Blunt here, as they're both coming out of the pits. Andy, of course, has opened almost a full second lead here. He's got quite a gap already started, as we will have the Johnny Damon hoping he can stick within that DRS zone. So once DRS kind of gets going here, he won't have to worry too much, as it will be on lap 3. So it should be the start of next lap. They will finally get it activated. But we do have Cam Tizzle also right behind there, and he's a little bit more under threat with Hayden here on those hard tires, as we do have the next kind of grouping of hard tire drivers behind them, as yeah, the front 2 on their mediums have now gotten out of DRS range of the group behind them.
Looks like Electric Blade and Ketchin are having a nice little battle coming around the final turn into the main straight.
Yeah, and I mean, Ketchin, he's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. He's got those hard tires on that he's got to deal with. So he's going to be hoping to play as much defense as he can, while he's going to have Electric Blade right up on him on those mediums. And Jacko's already made up a few spots into P10 already. So he's having a good start to his race for sure. And he is very much under pushing up on MJ Bras here. So you'll be hoping that after they come around the finish line, the DRS getting activated for them. It looks like we have Bolinger also heading himself into the pit lane here, and he is just going to be exiting the back.
Ferrari's off.
Oh, yes, Hayden.
Ooh.
As he almost
rejoins, though.
He almost rejoins and had Gasboy introduce himself as as they avoid the Alfa Romeo of MJ Bras there. We do have sorry, the yellow flag, but we're all good, as Jacko has now made himself into P9. He's going to be trying to hunt down Kota Go Hard here, as we have
Were you able to see who got the damage? It looked like there was some debris flying everywhere.
I think it was the brake boards. It looked like the white of the brake board that got kicked off, because I looked at the Haas and I didn't, or sorry, not the Haas, the Alfa Romeo, and it didn't look like he had any damage, as MJ Bras does make his way back ahead of Lucky Charms.
Just looks like some avoidance going on out there.
Yeah, yeah, it was a very dicey section there, and Jacko's already caught up to being into DRS range on Coda Go Hard here, as Ketchin is gotten passed by Electric Blade, but now he's does have Racer X right behind him, also on medium tires, so Ketchin on those hards is kind of struggling a little bit, but hoping he can stay sort of in touch and utilize the length of the hards compared to the mediums.
And Johnny and P2 is looking just to get in that DRS range. He's only 2/10 off on the mediums. Same with Andy. So if he can get up to the DRS, we'll definitely have a nice battle for P1 going into lap 5 of this Dutch Grand Prix.
Sure, and it looks like we had a little incident with Knick-Knack Paddywhack going on up there. He got himself into the grass or into the gravel pit, and it looks like he was able to get himself back on track and continuing. But yeah, now he's got Beamer Blunt right behind him, so a little bit of pressure there, as it looks like we've got Racer unfortunately got himself also a little issue, and he is now dropped down to behind Hayden, so the Ferrari's a little multi-21 there, as Racer has got himself back ahead of Hayden, but Hayden also under threat from Gasboy right behind him. There's a tight little group right here with less than a second between 3 drivers.
Yeah, the Ferrari's going to need to get their head down and just keep going. Had a couple of unfortunate, mishaps. However, definitely 2 very capable, very fast drivers on the medium and hard compound. And I'm sure Hayden's going to want to stay in DRS range with Racer X going forward. So we'll see if they have some communication internally to keep
For
that
sure.
going.
I mean, he's got Gasboy and King C Dot right behind him, so he's going to be kind of hoping to be able to stick to Racer so he can get some of that DRS and not worry too much as Jacko tries to make a move on the inside of Coda Go Hard. It looks like he has pulled that off and gotten himself up onto the rear diffuser of Gonzalez.
Coda's still staying on there too, though. Let's see if he has not the best exit. However, Coda's going to try to stay with Elma Jacko after getting past up to P7 from Elma Jacko on the softs.
He's having a flyer of a race to start for sure. He's definitely not letting it kind of come to him. He's just taking it. Which, hey,
how long do you think those softs will go for, especially on this pretty high deg type of track?
36 laps. I could see it getting him to probably about lap 10, 12, maybe. Depends how much he's pushing, and he is pushing pretty hard, so it could get a little dicey, but I mean, we'll see if safety cars, I mean, amazingly, we've had a DNF and no safety cars so far.
Right, yeah.
But we'll see how it kind of goes. I mean, one of the tire kind of strew that like a little dicey, as we do get Ketchin with a 2, as he has gone into the pits here. He does get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as he heads into the pits there, which is interesting on hards. So something must have gone wrong. It looks like, yeah, he's getting a new front wing here.
Maybe a corner cutting. I know the 3 seconds for the corner cutting contingency, so I wonder if he maybe took it a little too far over the white line.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, unfortunate damage, so he has to get that all fixed up as Coda Go Hard is still, now he's pushing up as Jacko has actually made his way past Gonzalez. He is now on the hunt for Electric Blade. He's got about 6.7 seconds back, so he's got some work to do here. But a safety car obviously can fix that very quickly, as Gonzalez took a very interesting line going through that little, that section there in turn 9, where he kind of came in really shallow around that corner. Usually it's a little deeper, but hey, worked. He kept his position, didn't lose it or anything, so.
And he got DRS as well, so I guess it unconventional, but works.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes that's all you need, right?
That is all you need sometimes in life.
Yeah, exactly. As they come around the final corner, they're around the banking, and he will have DRS zone, or his DRS wing open, as he will try and sort of hold on. As you can see, Racer X trying to break the slipstream for Hayden behind him, interestingly enough. As Hayden has gotten himself out of DRS range of Gasboy, so Hayden's just going to try and hold on as best he can here.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny's dropped a little bit to Andy. He had the 0.2 into DRS range, but it looks like he's hovering around 0.6 to 0.7 now. So I think he's just trying to hold that position, especially with Cam Tizzle behind him, and he's on the hard, so not really contested by Cam. However, yeah, he's just going to try to continue holding his position there at P2.
Yeah, an Electric Blade unfortunately has a little bit of an issue in turn 9 there and ends up dropping quite a few spots, ends up coming out back onto the track in P9, allowing Jacko to move his way on up, but now he is 8 seconds behind P3 there. But, I mean, hey, we're not even halfway through the race, and he's already gone from the very back to... Oh, no! Johnny loses it! And he ends up hitting the wall on the inside after turn 1 here as he was on his way to turn 2. And there's a good chance that will cause a safety car because he is fairly on the track, but we will see. It looks like it's not causing one so far.
Oh, he's going to be absolutely devastated.
Somehow this is not going to... Oh, although it might... Oh, there we go. And there's the safety car as Johnny Damon has left the session. It did say he retired, so let's see what is going to happen from there.
Is it VSC or did the safety car get deployed?
The safety car is deployed there. It's just behind... it looks like it's just behind Ketchin. Yeah, you can see it there. So it is just behind him, so it will wait as it looks like we have a couple of guys, OnlyFans and Knick-Knack Paddywhack have been coming into the pits. If you're Jacko, this is almost perfection for you.
Oh, this is exactly what he wrote up.
The unfortunate thing for him might be the fact that he will lose track position if he does go into the pits. He does have a couple of guys right behind him, so it's not like he's going to be super clear. He'd probably come out, I'd say...
P9, P10?
Yeah, maybe around King C-Dot, but... Depends, let's see, although if everyone comes in, obviously he will not have to worry about that as much. You can see we will stick with him and see where he ends up coming out, because he will lose a few spots as it looks like Hayden and Gasboy are staying out, as is King C-Dot. He is going to get his way out here just behind King C-Dot. Is he going to be able to get ahead of Lucky Charms? And I don't think he is. As Lucky Charms, you can see him coming around the corner, and Lucky Charms does stay ahead of him. Or does get ahead of him, sorry. And it looks like, yeah, Ketchin still has that time penalty there, so he will end up in P8, as it looks like Cam Tizzle has taken over the lead from Andy now. Andy only dropping a single spot after a hit onto brand new hard tires, whereas Cam Tizzle on 9-lap-old hard tires is now going to have fresh ones right behind him.
There's been a lot of movement across the entire grid. We have Gasboy and C-Dot moving up 8 places from the start of the race, and then same thing with Lucky Charms and Elma Jacko, 10 and 11 respectively. It's been a doozy.
It's definitely been an interesting race. They're not sitting around doing nothing, so everyone's moving very quickly here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see what happened to Johnny. Were you able to see kind of what happened there?
I was literally on him, and I looked away like to check the other screen and looked back, and I saw him slide. So it looks like he might have caught a curb coming out of, or just got on the throttle a little early, heading on his way out of turn 1, and just ended up losing it and smashing himself into the wall there. But he was completely alone, didn't get no contact with anybody, and just unfortunately made contact with that inside wall and knocked off a tire, and that'll quickly ruin your day.
Yeah, you definitely got a feel for him. I'm sure we've all been there at some point in our racing careers, just getting maybe the power down too early or touching a curb that you weren't supposed to.
Yeah. Who does that? Who gets on the power too quick and, spins themselves out when there's no one around? Yeah, no,
not
never.
Me, sir.
Yes, no, not a once, right?
No.
Been there way too often.
Yeah.
So, rather unfortunate, but yeah, so Cam Tizzle will take this away. I think the lights are still on the safety car, but they should be coming out hopefully pretty quick, although we do have a few stragglers trying to catch their way back up here. But so I don't know if they're going to keep it or if they will go with the next one or go one more lap here. As we see the Mercedes safety car making his way around, it looks like the lights are still on so far.
Yeah, what's the deal? Do they bring Mercedes and Aston Martin safety cars to like each race event? IRL?
No, each track or each safety car gets in specific tracks usually.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
they'll bring 3 safety cars to each one, which is amazing. But they will have it set so they have this track will be Aston Martin, this one they'll do the Ferrari, and then this one the Mercedes. So they kind of rotate through that way, because trying to do it that way, if you had both being there, it gets a little dicey, like trying to ship everything at the same time. And
yeah.
so they actually typically will ship it early. From as soon as that one race is over, they'll ship it to the next race that one will do, and then that way they have less of an issue with that. It's same as like the cars or the teams sending a bunch of stuff from one race. Like they have 3 rotating garages basically for each team, and they'll keep one over in Europe that they'll just drive around. Then they'll have another one that they'll send off they refer to them as flyaway garages for the flyaway races. So they'll actually they ship them like via a boat opposed to flying it, just because it's cost effective or more cost effective. So for like Australia, that race was the second race of the year. So after the race, like the first race, they'll have whichever ones, because that one is in Saudi Arabia. Where the heck were they for the first one? Bahrain, sorry. And so then that one will more than likely just go to the next race, which is in, where are we next? Jeddah? No, Baku. So that one would just go to Baku, and then they would have whichever one they sent to Australia, they'll take that one and send it over to another race that's like overseas. So they might send it to the Miami race or whatever it is, and then they have one that they'll keep in Europe, and they'll bounce the other 2 as they sort of are needed. So it's very interesting. Kind of traveling.
Yeah, wow, I didn't know that. Thank you for filling me in.
Watch an entire breakdown video on how insane it is. It's quite interesting.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Imagine if there was a Ferrari safety car as well.
Ooh, that'd look pretty. And then there's going to be a Ford. There's just a Camry. We are back underway green here. As you can see, Cam Tizzle get himself away, and he has opened a little bit of a gap, but Andy is definitely going to be fighting he is literally almost inside of the back of the car there. Got a right up on close on him going into turn 1 as he looks inside, and gets a little close as Hayden is right behind him too. So now Andy has a weird sort of spot as we do get a yellow flag there. It looks like Knick-Knack Paddywhack got himself a little twisted, but he is still going, so that is good. And then unfortunately we have MJ Braz get himself a little twisted up as well, as he is dropped now down to the back. Into
his wing is completely gone.
Yeah, rather unfortunate then, as he will have no wing. And this is obviously a track you really want your wing, because it is not a very good track to deal with no downforce caused by that wing.
Oh, jeez.
Although it is a little easier in 22 compared to 21.
True, with the ground effect, they're able to keep a little bit more downforce, but in F1 2021 there was, if your wing's gone, you're done. Yep. You're done.
It's pretty over. So as we can see, a pretty big gap has opened between Jacko, who was P8, was he not, or P9, and he's already P6. And he's not even on softs anymore. He's actually on hard, so he's made a fantastic move. It's Cam Tizzle now and Andy are going to have a little bit of a duel here, as they're going side by side through the first couple corners here into turn 3, as Hayden also looking to make a move on the inside of Cam Tizzle, as Andy has made his way up into P1. Hayden pushing and definitely putting a lot of pressure under, and Cam Tizzle now having to play a little bit of defense, trying to keep that position.
Jeez, this is a good battle.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, Electric Blade is in P11, so he's got no teammate help, as it looks like Hayden, sorry, is trying to make a move on the inside here. They get a little close, but Qaliy able to hold him off as they make their way through turn 10 on their way down, and they will both get DRS here. Oh, sorry, never mind. DRS still hasn't been activated. My bad. As they head into 11 and 12. And we'll see who gets the better exit as they make their way into turn 13 down this little bit of a straightaway before this corner, and then the heavy banking for turn 14.
Geez, they are bumper to bumper, especially going through that second sector. They were just side by side too, going around what was that, turn 8?
I believe, yeah, turn 8 heading towards turn 9 kind of area. Yeah, a little close there, but they managed to make it work, and no contact. So speaks to the quality of the drivers we have here, as Racer has made his way past Gonzalez behind there to grab into P8. As we can see, Ketchen is now trying to catch Mad Jacko, as he is right within that DRS zone, though he's kind of falling out of it, as Jacko has made his way up into P5 now. He is having a fantastic race, Jacko is.
Yeah, and Ketchen still has that 3-second penalty too, especially with such a tight grid going back 7th, 8th. Ooh, uh-oh.
Yeah, I see. It looks like King C-Dot unfortunately got himself a little loose and ended up in the gravel. He is moving, so he will definitely be still continuing. But yes, he unfortunately got himself into a little bit of a predicament, and he will.
Doesn't look like any damage to the wing though, so that's a silver lining, I guess, going forward.
As Cam Tizzle has now fallen very much out of DRS range, almost a full second out of DRS range, but unfortunately for him, cannot get into sort of a rhythm and rest, as he does have Hayden pulling out on the inside of him. As, oh no, Hayden spins on the interior. He does manage to keep it out of the wall, but he is going to have to wait, as he will drop down and kind of get himself back going. So now Cam Tizzle does have a little bit of breathing room behind him, as we have Ketchen and Jacko trying to fight it out for P4.
Oh no, and then Boenger right in the middle of the track. Oh no!
Ooh, that is unfortunate. It looked like it was that Coda that got into a little bit of an issue. Oh no, there is lots going on. As a Red Bull has rear-ended a Williams, as in Mercedes now.
Oh my goodness!
Just
pretty wide.
Yeah. A lot of damage.
This is some carnage. This is some carnage out there.
Somehow no safety car. I'm not sure what's going on there. A little bit of rubbing there, as MJ Bros has set a new fastest lap with a 1:13.5. As we have this little collection of cars here, a Williams. Ooh, as it looks like the Williams and
the stewards are looking the other way on that.
Yeah, there's going to be some questions, I'm sure, at the end of this race, and definitely going into next week, as it looks like. Unfortunately Electric Blade getting into it with the Haas a little bit, as OnlyFans Free is trying to just make his way around the track. We did see Coda Gohard have a little bit of an issue, and it looks like Lucky Charms has DNF'd. I'm not sure. Looks like on the inside there is, somehow OnlyFans Free goes through the grass and somehow keeps it pointed straight still, as we will see King C-Dot going in there, because, yeah, he will need a new wing, as I did watch him drive right into the back of another car.
Yeah, it looks like Lucky Charms
and
either
Hayden just retired. I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, geez, this is definitely some carnage out there.
What is going on here? Did I miss? Beamer Blunt and Hayden just retired there. Not really sure what's going on as to what happened there. It looks like he is not happy, according to Discord. Just a whole bunch of wows. So not sure what's going on there, as we do have MJ Bros coming in for a new wing and new tires. Somehow we still have no bloody safety car. After all that, everyone is still...
do not care.
No, they do not.
Don't care.
As we just hopped over to, and MJ Bros is now retired, so we have lost P20 to P5, or P15, sorry. And another yellow in Sector 1, as, yes, unfortunately, Racer had sent himself into a wall, but he does have a pretty solid gap behind him.
And then Ketchen just ran right into Elmo Jacko.
As Jacko is now...
I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't catch it, but we do have a yellow. This is going to get a little interesting. It looked like Lucky Charms is also not having a good time. Oh, catching, allowing, giving Jacko the position back, though. That is what you call a polite move or sportsmanship, if you will. As we see now Jacko back up ahead. Unfortunately, yeah, that was a very interesting kind of section there where we lost quite a few people very quickly.
And we're only halfway into this race.
Yeah, still a lot of time to go here. So, I'm hoping
lost 6 cars, and we're only halfway done with this race.
And they have spread out a little bit now, as there's nowhere. I mean, outside of Racer and Wolfsburg Tuna, there's a few spaces there. As it looks like, unfortunately for Beamer Blunt, what happened with him is someone came back onto the track and caused a little bit of an accident. As we can see, Bolanger there, he is on his way. So we're you know what, oh. Okay, well, never mind on that. I was about to say he's on his way to making his first points for Alpha Tauri, as unfortunately he clipped the wall on the outside.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was going up on that banking there through into the banking, sorry, coming into turn 13 and unfortunately made contact with that that outside wall. So that will send.
Yeah, there is no ghosting either.
No, there is not.
Oh, what happened there? What's going on here?
Knick-Knack Paddywhack got a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. As it looks like Racer had himself a little bit of an issue. He has also lost his wing again. There's apparently a premium on wings. Front wings in this, as he is going to head back into the pits and get himself another front wing.
That was so weird. I was riding along with Knick-Knack Paddywhack, and
Racer.
I don't know what happened there. It looked like Williams was kind of ghosted, I guess. I'm not really sure what happened there.
It looks like Racer is also DNF'd.
Oh my goodness.
So we are down to 12 drivers at this point, as everyone's coming in, getting on some new tires here with 16 laps to go. Andy is going to come out in P1, and everyone looks to be swapping over to some mediums. Get a little quicker, a little faster tire here. Ooh, this could get interesting. Oh, Gonzalez has himself a time penalty, so he is going to have a little bit of trouble, and Jacko is going to jump him. Oh, unfortunately not. Jacko does not manage to get ahead of him in the pit lane.
So, is there a safety car out? What's going on here?
There is a safety car out, yes. That I did see. Yeah, after Bolanger unfortunately got himself into the wall there, they did have a safety car because he was right in the middle of the track. So rather interesting.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, most definitely. You know, I saw Bolanger unfortunately spin on turn 3. It looked like he was trying to get off of like the main portion of the track. However, that caused a backup with Coda. And then I think that just subsequently just caused just a backup just throughout the whole track, because there's no room really on this track. It's a tight one.
Yeah, it's weirdly has lots of gravel pits, but still very tight. And there's not a lot of spots you can kind of move around. And it looks like so an update on why Hayden had retired. When he spun at turn 1 there, he actually had damaged his rear wing. And basically, once you've damaged your rear wing, especially with these cars, you've got nothing. They're pretty hard to drive at that point. So unfortunately, that is why he retired. We had a lot of carnage in this one. We've lost
this has been pretty wild.
Almost half the field already. Yeah, just over halfway, and half the field is gone here as we are making our way onto lap 21. Now it gets
There's been so much action kind of everywhere too. It's been tough to kind of keep track on what's going on.
Yeah, it has been. I'm kind of like, oh, well, there's this going on. Oh, that guy is now in a wall. Oh, that guy's in a wall too. Oh, and he's somehow okay. Yep, sure. So rather entertaining at the very least, as we are sliding our ways through turn 3 there.
Yeah, geez. Wow. This has been some pretty intense battling. Everyone's kind of got their elbows out. Oh, and oh no.
Oh, did Knick Knack get himself twisted up there? Yeah, and he is out of a front wing, so he will probably be heading in to get himself a new set of, or a new front wing.
We'll see if he can get. I wonder how many.
Oh, he almost went a little wide on that too.
Wonder how many laps the safety car will be out for under the formation.
I mean, his teammate is right behind him there, so it's not like he's going to lose out necessarily on his teammate. But we'll, yeah. And, you've got to be kidding me.
Adding insult to injury.
As he will get a drive-through. And there's the safety car in this lap here. So we will be back underway right away. So we'll hop back on board with Andy as he is now the safety car, more or less, as they make their way into the final two corners here, as we move through turn 13 into the banking of turn 14, when we will figure out when he will get her going. Ooh, as Cam Tizzle tries to make a little bit of a, hey, let's go, let's go. Obviously, Andy wanting to take full advantage of it, and you can see Ketchin has dropped a position back to Mad Jacko. I'm not really sure what happened there, but we'll take it. As Knick Knack has headed his way back into the pit lane, and Jacko making his way up into P4. Looks like we get away fairly cleanly. No issues in the back end of things. So we are back underway on lap 22 of the 36 here. Hopefully a little less problems going forward.
Hopefully.
Not holding my breath on this one.
No, this race has definitely been carnage. I know the stewards room is going to get absolutely blown up with inquiries following the completion of this race. So, oh geez, this is going to be a tough one to, I guess, mediate for the stewards going forward.
As the Hawks got a little loose and almost made contact with King C-Dot, but he was able to keep away from him. So that almost got a little sketchy, but they did manage to avoid any collision there. As Coda Go Hard is starting to put some pressure on Wolfsburg Tuner here. You can see Andy trying to get his way, get himself some space from Cam Tizzle there, as he's almost got him out of DRS range.
It's 3 laps, too, before DRS is activated again?
I believe it's 2 on a restart. Could be wrong there. As Coda Go Hard does look like he was almost going to try and make a move on the inside as Electroblade gets passed on the outside by Wolfsburg Tuner there. Coda Go Hard trying to make a move on the outside of Electroblade as well, but he is able to hold him off. There's this little battle that's brewing here. They are very close here from Electric Blade. I mean, really, Wolfsburg Tuner all the way down to OnlyFans Free here. It's pretty close racing.
Oh, jeez.
It looks like the Haas actually just ended up into the grass, but he has kept it out of the wall, so that's good there. As King C-Dot looking, oh, he gets a little squirrely and ends up losing some positions to Electric Blade, or losing some time, sorry, to Electric Blade. As Coda Go Hard still trying to push his way up to Wolfsburg Tuner.
And OnlyFans Free is just staying right on King C-Dot. Coming around the final turn into the main straight. Oh, and he's just taking on the inside path. Looks like he had a pretty good exit. He's putting the ERS down as well. He's going to have some late braking into the turn. Oh, it looks like, yeah, but maybe the switcheroo.
Nice little switchback. Yeah, King C-Dot there as he was able to hold on to that position.
You know, even with the elbows out, though, this is some good racing. This is some entertaining toit racing, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure, as it looks like Knick Knack was heading back into the pits. I'm not sure what happened there. But he has headed his way back into the pit lane. As we've got King C-Dot and OnlyFans Free there, dueling it out up there. We've got Jacko trying to reel in Gasboy as he is in a Alpine sandwich here. As they're making their way through everything. Cam Tizzle still holding on to that DRS range.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's on the medium compound too. There's not too much disparity between the degradation of the medium compound. Looks like around 5 to 7 laps or so is the average.
That's well, this should get pretty close then, as we only got about 10 laps left, as it looks like we had Knick-Knack Paddywhack. He has got himself a little twisted again, as the front group is going to be coming around, getting close to him at this point, as Cam Tizzle really starting to put Andy under some pressure here. We're going to stick on this, and this is going to be a DRS area coming up right away here. So we'll see what kind of move he tries to make, if he's able to get himself a little closer.
You know, Knack has cleared himself, though, of all the penalties that he's incurred thus far. So he's hoping for another safety car, maybe throw on a set of softs and try to make up some space in the final portion of the race. But
For sure,
yeah,
it's been a day for him.
Yeah.
It's been a day.
Everyone.
Yeah, for sure. It's been interesting. I mean, OnlyFans free, I will give him that, like, so he's chasing down Electric Blade, and based on what I can tell, it seems like I think Electric Blade is actually an AI right now. He was typing in Discord while driving, and either he's really good or he's got some AI going on. I'm not sure what happened there, but OnlyFans free, this could be the, we're gonna knock on wood, possibility of something Haas hasn't done yet. Won't say what, but it's got a possibility. It looks like Cam Chisel has himself an unfortunate incident there, as he has spun, lost his front wing, and lost his positioning to Andy, as he just gets drilled by Coda Go Hard. As Cam Tizzle definitely is going to get that 5-second penalty. I'm not sure what happened there, but that is rather unfortunate for Coda, as he had nowhere to go. As Cam Tizzle sort of just backed into the track. That's going to be rather unfortunate.
That has been the second time today that Coda's unfortunately ran into someone who had spun on the track. The first one was Bolanger around turn 3. And then, you got to feel for Coda and feel for Cam too. No one wants to spin on the track. No, everyone wants to race hard. So this has been a doozy. This has been a doozy.
Yeah, and it looks like OnlyFans free getting a VSC. So he's going to get a drive-through, and it looks like, I think he actually got a penalty and a 5-second. We'll quickly bring up our penalties here. So, no, he has a drive-through. Cam Tizzle has now 10 seconds worth of penalties. He gets a 5-second for also speeding in the pit lane. And Coda Go Hard gets a 5-second penalty, as both Cam and Coda are going to DNF as well. So now it's basically, you finish, you get points. And that's, at this point, just survive, I guess, because
well, there was a VSC. How long was that out for? It looked like no time at all.
Yeah, it was a pretty short VSC there. So we are back underway, under green.
I guess Knick-Knack is up to P10.
Yeah, Nick. I mean, he's got to get past. There we go. So now he's in P10 there. So yeah, everyone driving will get themselves a point at least, but we'll see how this all ends up shaking out. OnlyFans is going to be hoping to kind of stay there.
Yeah, it looks like Cam Tizzle had an apology for Coda. There was no intention there. It looked like he was just trying to get off the track, and Coda, unfortunately, just accidentally collided.
Yeah,
not any fault of his own.
No, Electric Blade has made his way into P8. Like I said, I'm not really sure if he's still driving or not, because he did say he can't rejoin, so I'm not sure, but we're just gonna, as of current, he is in P8. As it looks like King C-Dot is trying to make his way past Wolfsburg Tuner as well.
Just racing and sipping his macchiato.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry, no, Haas does have 2 points. I was wrong. They have 2 points. Alpha Tauri has, unfortunately, no points yet. And even more unfortunately for Alpha Tauri, both their drivers have DNF'd so far. I feel like
the story of the Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I see incident submission is already highlighted.
Yeah.
So some incidents have been
This is
put
going to
in
be a
here.
tough one for the stewards.
So rather unfortunate there.
I think the driver of, or the talk of the day has been El Majacco, just absolutely salvaging the unfortunate qualifying incident and getting up to P3, 16 places gained, and pushing to pass Gasboy as well.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic race, and he's kind of done it quietly because he's sort of just stayed out of trouble and just driven well. And I know we've mentioned it a few times, but like he hasn't really been involved. Like his pass has been clean. He's just kind of gotten by and gone. That's it. There's no real tussle back and forth. As the Johnny Damon comes in and goes, admins will have some work and discussions this week. Yeah, I will agree on that one.
Most definitely.
But yeah, as you can see, Ketchin is also starting to make some moves, but he does have a 3-second time penalty as well. As of right now, he will stay P5, but we can see a little bit of a grouping here as Jacko is trying to make moves to get past Gasboy here. He is well within that DRS zone, or range, sorry, and he will be putting some pressure on him as they make their way with only 6 laps to go here.
Yeah, it looks like C-Dot is trying to make a pass on Wolfsburg Turner as well. Let's see if he can get the move done. He does. Going into turn 1.
And he is able to kind of hold him back and get a little bit of a gap between them. They're now 0.5 of a second, but nice little move by King C-Dot there as he makes his way through.
Yeah,
trying to maximize your points.
Yeah, most definitely. Looks like Ketchin is in no danger too of his 3-second penalty that he's got going. So yeah, 6 laps to go.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap between him and King C-Dot right now. Just a couple seconds or so. As Jacko's still trying to make moves, but it looks like he had a little bit of a rough exit there and was unfortunately lost some time. But he's just not quite as close as he would want to be coming out of the final turn into the sort of long DRS straight here. But we'll see how close he is able to get up, as he will get pretty close, but unfortunately not close enough to be able to make a pass or anything through this kind of windy section here.
Yeah, looking on the Discord too, it looks like there might have been a few connectivity issues. I'm not sure if it was with a specific driver or if it maybe just the lobby was having some issues. I'm not really sure, but it looked to be like there was a little bit of maybe some glitching going on today. So that'll probably be included in the stewards discussion.
For sure. Although it is looking like we will have an interesting time with the rest of this race, as it is going to be more or less due to all the issues. So unfortunately, or fortunately for you, depending on what position you are / were in, they will not be awarding points for this race, as there was too many bugs and connectivity issues.
Oh, interesting.
Rather unfortunate for some of them. I know. Oh, OnlyFans gets himself another time penalty here. But yeah, unfortunately, it looks like...
Is that no points at all for any of the drivers today?
You can continue racing, but no points will be awarded tonight. Apologies, and we will move on to round 5 at Hungary, where hopefully we will have less issues like our first 3 rounds. It looks like there was a lot of race desync issues that were causing, and it looks like Johnny Damon having gotten booted, I think it was.
Oh, we got booted?
At one point there.
That's just a bummer.
Yeah.
Definitely a bummer. I mean, you got some great efforts from some drivers. You know, looking at the grid, everyone has gained quite a few places. And yeah, that's definitely a bummer.
Yeah, so they're kind of talking it out, it looks like, so I'm not 100% sure that that's going to be what ends up sticking as a response or as a end result, but we will see what ends up happening. As Andy does set the fastest lap, kind of quietly here a little bit. With that, we will probably then not go for interviews after this, as this race is going to be, we'll just kind of finish it up and move on to week 5 here, or round 5, as we will be heading to Hungary. Right? Yeah, Hungary, I believe, is the next track. So we'll head to Hungary and hope everything goes a little smoother for that one.
Most definitely.
It's, yeah, rather unfortunate, because it was at least entertaining.
It was very entertaining. Oh, man.
But, so I guess, yeah, for some guys, they're going to be happy that there was no continuation there, but for some others, we will be they'll be a little unfortunate for them in terms of no points and things like that, but we will see how it ends up going.
Most definitely.
But it does look like there's a little bit of not necessarily fight, but what's the term?
Battles?
Well, battles on the track, yes. We still have Jacko and Gasboy both dueling it out pretty heavily here. They're pushing for it. I don't think anyone who's driving doesn't realize it, but there's been some pushback about the non-points end of things.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure some of these drivers don't even know that that's going to be the decision. But might as well just give it your all. Have fun.
Another option could be giving half points as well. That might also be a viable option, but
I like that idea.
at least something, because it's yeah, you can't really blame like Jacko. I mean, Jacko's had a fantastic race for himself.
Most definitely. I mean, it's been a battle from everyone. I'm not sure if some of the crashes and whatnot had something to do with the connectivity issues. I'm sure it did, but yeah, especially if like Majako just giving it his all, 17 places and holding off for P2 as he goes into turn 1.
They're really dueling this out. Like, Gasboy is right on his diffuser, and Ketchen has sort of entered himself into this discussion here now, too, which is going to be very interesting for Gasboy. He's going to have to now either try and make that pass or kind of make some guesswork on what's the best option, play defense or play offense.
Yeah. And then at the same time, too, we got P. Gonzalez out there in 5th place, who was within the 3-second time penalty range from Ketchen, who's still having to deal with that. It looks like he has no worries with King C-Dot, but he does have Paul Gonzalez. Oh, never mind. Darn it. Sorry, Paul.
Rather unfortunate, as the commentator's curse not caused by me, so I feel less bad about it.
That sucks.
We'll yeah, unfortunately have him not getting that there.
Oh no. Looks like Gasboy spun going into that final turn.
Yeah, Gasboy and all. So Ketchen is somehow going to end himself up on the podium without even actually having been a believed aspect there.
He's even fighting now with Jacko.
Yeah, he's putting a little pressure on him as we are on our last lap here.
Yeah, Sport, it's definitely been a doozy today, that's for sure.
It's been something. It's definitely been something here.
There was so much going on. It was tough to see everything, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting time. There's been a lot going on, for sure. As we have Andy coming through and Jacko able to hold off Ketch in there and to finish in P3. Gonzalez is going to end in P4. Yep, okay, I was like, maybe? With Gasboy,
Alpines.
yeah, they'll have a good couple points there, I guess, depending on what ends up actually happening here. With all the discussions that will go on behind the scenes. As OnlyFans gets a 5-second time penalty for not serving his penalty, which, fair, I guess? As we do have Wolfsburg Tuner in 7th, Knick-Knack Paddywhack currently in 8th here, as he has got a little bit of pressure coming from Electric Blade behind him. But there's still a little bit of a gap as they come through the final 2 corners. As that will be the end of that, and we will move on to week. We're just gonna move on to round 5, I guess here. So rather quite an exciting race. For anyone who does not know, we will be in Hungary for next week here. We will figure everything out. We will let you guys all know kind of what's going to be happening, and then we will hopefully have kind of a better understanding of what is going to all go on in regards to this race, I guess. But congratulations to Andy, Jacko, and Ketchen on their podium. Jacko having a fantastic race. I'm not going to say it wasn't aided by some things, but he did get himself up into that top section in the P2 there, so a fantastic day for him. And hopefully we'll have a little bit of a better day tomorrow. Or next week, I guess.
Yeah, that was... You know, like we were saying, this was just some great racing all around. There was definitely some elbows out, kind of around the entire track, and definitely the connectivity issues were difficult. But there was some good racing. I mean, it was definitely entertaining. A lot of clean overtakes, but yeah,
for sure. Yeah, no, it was a great race. Fantastic time, and hopefully it ends up a little smoother next week. But we'll see how everything ends up going, and hopefully they have a good one. But unfortunately, like I said, we will not deal with an interview thing, as we have a lot of other things going on, and they have to figure out kind of everything that's going on here. But we will touch on that and get it all figured out for next week, and we'll explain everything for that.
Sounds good. Sports, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Well, yeah, so Free Willy and I will hopefully be back for next week, and we will be able to explain kind of a little of what's gone on so far, and then kind of figure it out from there.
Yep.
But thanks for coming on by, guys. I will catch you again. We will catch you again while we are in Hungary. Have yourselves a great rest of the night, and we will hopefully see you then. Thanks for coming on by, and see you later.